Good morning. It's Sunday, October 4th, and I am sorry to say that anti-Semitism is on the rise again. Anti-Semitism is a lingering disease. It sits quietly for many years at a time, and then some event will spark it to life. And now it's COVID-19 that is bringing anti-Semitism back to life. On top of the events of the protests in the United States, where a group of white supremacists claim that Jews will not replace us. But this piece of anti-Semitism is going on because of COVID-19, because it's been going on for centuries. In 1630, Alessandro Manzoni in Italy called the Jews the plague spreaders. And this has happened every time there's been a plague. For instance, when the Black Death swept through the Middle East and Europe in the years of 1346 to 1353. We were blamed. The Jews were blamed. So we should be used to it by now. Now, I can understand it when the Palestinians claim they are at a greater risk to the COVID-19 because of the Jewish occupation. They claim they're suffering more because of the Jews. I can understand that because they want to delegitimize the Jewish nation. They want the Jews to disappear. They want us off the face of the earth. So the Palestinians have a cause, and I understand that. I don't understand where anti-Semitism comes from in other parts of the world and in the United States itself. But when we are accused by the far-right groups and the ultra-conservative Christian circles and the far left, that tells me that in this country we still have anti-Semitism lurking under the surface, ready to jump out with the slightest provocation. And not only are we accused of creating this pandemic and causing it to rise, but we are also accused of directly profiting from it. The language and imagery used clearly identifies the revival of the medieval blood libels when Jews were accused of spreading disease, poisoning wells, and controlling economies. There are many in this country that believe that Jews control the economy. And this is the 21st century. How long do you think this is going to go on? In Germany, a commission has been put together to examine and research the reasons why there has been this rise in anti-Semitism. And in Iran, a member of Iran's parliament wrote on Twitter, "This COVID-19 is not normal. I believe it is a kind of biological attack by the U.S. and the Zionist regime." Of course, he's talking about Israel. But why does he bring the U.S. into it? And why is the Jew that caused this? Well, we can understand it in Iran, but I don't understand it on the shores of the United States. Then we have the case of Rick Wiles, a Florida pastor with a history of anti-Semitic speech. He recently said in an online broadcast that the spread of coronavirus in synagogues in Israel is punishment for the Jews' rejection of Jesus Christ. Doesn't he know that Jesus Christ was a Jew? Now, another thing that's happening because of this is that the ultra-Orthodox communities in the United States and in Israel and elsewhere have been very hard hit by the coronavirus because they live in crowded communities, in crowded homes. They have large families, and for the most part, they're isolated communities. They avoid most mainstream communications. And that honestly, the rabbis were slow to pass the messages on about the danger of the virus and the danger of not social distancing. So to some measure, we are our own worst enemy. And we know that in New York City, Mayor de Blasio got on one Jewish community for having a large wedding or a large funeral or something. And people were there without masks. And there had been a general reluctance among Orthodox Jews to masking. But that does not make us the prime perpetrator of COVID-19. Our own idiosyncrasies should not be open to criticism from the rest of the world. We have an obligation to the rest of the world, which for the most part we follow. We are a great group of people who have contributed more to the human race than most other groups. So I don't know if we'll ever get rid of anti-Semitism. I don't know if all our good deeds matter. We have been the scapegoat for the human race for centuries. And unfortunately, it looks to me like we will continue to be the scapegoat. So I leave you with that. I'll leave you with the fact that anti-Semitism is not going to disappear in our lifetime. Bye.